Use Prima 42 says giving attention to a thought, is it not having interest in it? So we'll look at exactly this now. So if it's clear what the difference between attention and belief is, let's look at this now. So to not give belief to something is to say that I have no interest in it. To not give belief to something is to say that I have no interest in it, in the neutral state. So this thought came that I must buy some new clothes. There was no interest in it, not even interest enough to have an aversion towards it. So notice that I'm saying neutrality. I'm not saying yes or no, because either yes or no would mean that you're interested in the content of the thought. But to just let it come and let it go is neutrality. Because if we say yes, then it is a desire, and if we say no, it becomes an aversion. So this is the difference between a desire and an aversion. Yes. So if there is, when we say there is no interest, means that there is no desire to give any belief to any thought that is arising. Then what happens? So the same thought can keep coming back. And initially I don't say withdraw your attention from it, because attention can play this monkey game. Attention can play the monkey game. So I say don't think of a pink elephant. Immediately your attention is going to an image of a pink elephant. And the more you try to stop and say no, 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 no pink elephant, the more the pink elephant stays. So attention can play this monkey game, but belief is easier to handle. You can say no, I am not a pink elephant. And no matter how many times the thought might come that you are a pink elephant, you will not believe it. But if I say don't give attention to the visual of a pink elephant, then attention seems to go there. Except for maybe very experienced yogis and meditators, this is how it will happen. But what happens is, as we keep withdrawing our belief from it, and we stay in the state of neutrality, then you will find that automatically attention also doesn't go to it. It's like if you have the same visitor over and over, initially you might be a little hospitable to them, but if he keeps coming back every 10 minutes, then you will just start ignoring him. If you go into a wildlife sanctuary and suppose there are many tigers there. So when you see the first tiger, you'll have a lot of belief that you wanted to see this tiger, and your attention will go strongly to it. But as you keep withdrawing your belief from it, then as you've seen too many of these tigers, your attention will also stop going to them. You will probably start thinking about lunch. So this much is clear now, that attention seems to be a bit of the monkey mind and belief seems to be easier to manage. To withdraw our belief from something seems like an easier step than to pull our attention away from something. And also it must be seen now that without our attention, there is no possibility of believing anything about it anyway. If it doesn't come into our attention, if the thought is not in our attention, there is no concept of a belief in that thought anyway. So attention must come first and belief must come second. Okay. So in just this much understanding, to say that I will not give my belief to any thought is freedom from suffering itself. Just in this much is the freedom from suffering. So Ustreamer 42 says, attention, is it not a form of interest? Yes. So that's what we said, that because so much belief has gone into the concept that I need something or I need this or I need that, there's so much belief around something that when that something arises, then that interest in the form of our belief system then perpetuates our being with that. So if there's no belief around it, then it will be allowed to just come and go. But if there's a belief structure around something, it means that something still has value or meaning for me, then that is what we mean by interest, and then our attention sticks. But when we withdraw our belief from it, then we will find that attention will not stick. So interest is another way of saying that there is a belief that there is something in this for me. There is a meaning in this for me, or there is a value in this for me. And in that there is a birth of a me, birth of an individual me, which is not the true me. This is clear? Excellent question. So interest is another form of saying that I believe that there is some meaning or value for me. But that's a belief. Therefore, I will not say that attention is a form of interest. I will say that attention goes more strongly when there is a feeling of value or interest to me. Or attention stays more strongly when this feeling of value or interest is there. But this feeling of value or interest is based on beliefs. So Amaya says, yes, when attention doesn't want to let go, withdraw belief takes its power away, yes, and opens awareness, can see, yes. Jyoti says, Muji once said something like, we don't buy or purchase thoughts. He says that we should not buy or purchase thoughts. They will audition for our attention, but we don't buy them. Stacy says, just want to confirm something. At some point, I heard that functional thinking is okay, and the mind grabbed a hold of this, and I attach belief to to-dos obsessively at times. Something still sticking to being the doer of the to-dos, yes. That's why I very rarely say this. That's why I say initially it is okay to say that I am not going to believe any thought at all and let life unfold exactly the way it has to. Like my master says, the mind is not your friend, not yet. And don't believe your mind's testimony for when it is your friend or not. Let your master tell you. So what you have to do is let go of all thoughts and all fear about how life will unfold. Let go of all thoughts, and let all actions unfold through the body as they are naturally happening in a neutral state. Don't have any desire or aversion. I am not saying that you just sit on the bed. No, that is the typical reaction that will come. So I'm saying just be completely neutral and let life unfold as it is without your giving any belief to any thought. And if the mind is saying that this is not possible, then you experiment with it and you tell me after experimenting that I tried this for a day, but it is not possible. Yes, Ustreamer 142 says, in having thought, is it not already some unconscious belief? You can say that it comes from a subconscious place, or the karmic kosha, or the kosha of our karmas. All these things can be said. But ultimately the truth is that we are not the creators of our thoughts. We as individuals are not the creators of anything at all. But specifically for this discussion, we can say of our thoughts. So just out of the blue, some thoughts will come. A thought could come that I want to go to London for my next vacation. Before this thought appeared for the first time, there was no belief around it. And now when this came, we said yes, then it becomes a desire. We said no, I don't want to go, it becomes an aversion. And neutrality means this thought is allowed to come and go. You want to look at another example? So suppose you looked at, so we had an example earlier about buying new clothes. So you looked at something in the shop window. There was no belief around this new shirt in the shop window. But when we saw it, then a thought came that I must have it, or I never want to wear something like this. Both have the potential to create a desire or an aversion. But if it is just allowed to come and allowed to go, then there is no belief around it. Claire says, I throw all habits to believe things into the fire of satsang. Very good. It's clear. SK77 says, how to make decisions. I am struggling to make decision between two jobs. How to follow the heart. Yes. You as an individual cannot decide anything anyway. Life is already deciding for you. Don't try to decide. Just drop all decision making and life will unfold exactly the way it is meant to. What you might experience in this is a fear about what is going to happen, and that takes some trust. So trust in Guru, trust in God, that life will unfold exactly the way it is meant to, not in the way that your mind wants it to. But the decision of a non-entity, which means the decision of the person who does not exist anyway, is not relevant to how your life is going to flow. It is only the illusory way of keeping the false identity alive. This choice making and decision making is just that. But if this becomes too difficult to understand, then what I can say simply is what Bhagwan said. Bhagwan Ramana Maharishi said that if you believe in choice, then the only choice you must have is to let go of your thoughts. That is the only choice you must make. And ultimately you will see that even this happening was all grace. There was no individual entity here to do even this. Ustreamer 380 says, Master, what about I thought? If there is no belief or attention, is that freedom? What about I thought? If we give no belief or attention to this I thought, yes, then that is freedom. Because at the root of all suffering is this misidentification with the individual person. All thoughts are referring to you as a person. No thought is saying that as awareness can you do this. All problems are just thoughts about a person. All suffering is thoughts about a person. So if the root itself is gone, which is that this personal belief or personal identity is gone, then that is freedom. Because when thoughts will come and speak, they are speaking to someone that is not there at all. You know that that is not there. Therefore, no belief can go to them. Louis says, Anantajit, attention seems to be doing its own thing. Not believing is definitely easier, as the attention is hard to focus on something particular. Exactly what I've been saying, that attention has a bit of this monkey tendency and it will want to do the opposite of what we want it to do. If you want to control it, it will jump around more. But belief seems more manageable. Therefore, it is just enough to say that I will not believe the content of my thoughts. It is enough. Then the rest will take care of itself. Ustreamer 142 says, who is the I that does not believe in the thoughts? Very good. So, we see that in pure seeing itself, in this only pure seeing, then there is not even these powers of attention and belief. It is after the birth of the being, or can be said concurrently actually with the birth of the being, when consciousness gives birth, then these powers of attention and belief are given birth as well, concurrently. Therefore, we can say that consciousness itself is giving attention or is giving belief. It is consciousness itself. Amrita laughing. Rashmi says, it is possible. It is possible. Okay, I've forgotten what the question was. Probably was it a while ago. Stacy says, thank you, Father, for the guidance. Okay, I will experiment with this. Very good. Let all things unfold on their own. Very good. Lucian says, I expose that there is still belief that I am responsible for my brother and mother's suffering. With my brother, it seems I tried too hard, and with my mother there is blame. I am a burden to her because for quite a while I don't make any money. I lay this at your feet. Thank you. This is very powerful. This is very powerful because not only are you not denying it that this exists here, that this comes up and has some meaning and value and belief has been given to it. You're not denying it, you're willing to shine your light on this. And second, you're willing to expose it in satsang. this is very powerful. And with this shining of your light and with this exposing it in the fire of satsang, this will not last. It might come at you strongly. The mind might play this trump card strongly. But if you keep this stance of just witnessing it and exposing it every time it is coming up, then it cannot last. It's very